Hey guys, as a coach, I feel like the hardest thing to teach someone, especially a kid, is the serve, how to serve hard. And I think if you're having trouble with the serve and trying to understand why you're not getting as much pace with so much effort you're putting into the ball, is to take a look at some of the pros and how they take their racket back on the serve. Milos Raonic is probably one of the best servers on the tour, can serve over 140 miles an hour. Kyrgios is another one who's a great server. And one thing you'll notice when they take their racket back is how limp their wrist is. So this goes into my video about why, like, Roger Federer has high racket head speed. You know, he does, like, they don't bring their wrist back, right? They just bring their fist forward and relax their grip through that. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about on the serve now. So as a baseball player, so my background is I taught myself tennis, hence teachyourselftennis.com, and I got to a 5.0 level mainly because I understood the concepts of tennis, and then I was able to work on it hard, understanding the physics of it and everything. But before I even started tennis in high school, right before I started high school, I got cut from baseball. I couldn't throw a baseball very fast. I was a pitcher, could throw maybe in the 40s, really weak, okay? But I can serve about 120. And why is that? Well, it's because of how relaxed I am and understanding that this racket head needs to go really, really fast to get that control, which is a little counterintuitive, we'll talk about that, and power. So what I mean with Raonic and going back to Milos Raonic or Kyrgios is when they take their racket back, all right, when they're about to serve, their wrist is limp like this. So what does that indicate about the grip? Probably very, very loose, right? Roger Federer does a pretty good job of that, but not as specific. I mean, this is very obvious with these guys. I mean, their wrist is like this. Kyrgios is very limp. So what that means is when I bring that racket up over my shoulder, it's just going to swing over, and now it's loose. See how loose that is? So now all I have to do is just get some forward momentum and let that racket come over it. Okay? So if I just let the racket kind of hang over and then use that momentum to bring it back up, I can get a lot of power without a lot of effort. So I'm going to let the racket come down, and then just, you can hear that noise of that brushing up on that ball. So we're not going to get into grips and why we hit the ball up instead of forward. We're just talking about racket head speed right now, okay? And the biggest thing I could tell you is it's really hard to teach this because less control of your racket is more control, more power, which is really counterintuitive. A lot of players will tighten their grip, and that doesn't allow their wrists to be flexible, and their arms kind of take over. And like me, a baseball player, I can only throw so far because my elbows and arms aren't very elastic, I mean, there's a lot to it. My mechanics probably isn't that good. But if I can get this racket head going really quick, then that's different. So I want to relax my wrists and let the racket just kind of come over. And to do that, you got to be loose, okay? You got to be really loose. So when I'm bringing that racket, I've been working on this myself because I always want to improve, but my racket, you can see, is loose. So if I'm serving with my serving forward this way, you can see how my racket is loose, and then all I'm going to do is let that racket just come over. And this is obviously in slow motion, but you can see how I'm able to have a lot of relaxation here, and then just let the racket swing up to the ball. And then that allows me to have a lot of power without a lot of effort, okay? So trying to, and then we have, I mean, the whole idea is there's plenty of other things you have to think about with your legs and all that, but literally it's just kind of thinking about going, you can even practice this on your knees, and trying to just relax, and you'll notice that if you do it right, your racket's going to be up here, and if you're doing it wrong, you're going to hit the ground. And that's that forward motion, that tension. If you can just relax and just kind of like going up to the ball with a relaxed grip, letting that racket just swing over and go, you'll be in good shape. So the last thing you might want to pay attention to on your serve is when I'm taking my racket back and going through here, try to feel where the butt of the racket goes. The butt of the racket's here, you're not taking the racket back enough and you're too tense, because if you were relaxed, the butt of the racket would go way up. Because if I'm relaxed, the weight of the racket would just bring my arm and my wrists back, right? So the thing then is, see where the racket is pointing, try to get the top of the racket to point in that direction very quickly. And that's where you get that motion to be very, very fast with the racket head. So as I go through and go up and up as I'm here, the racket head, or the butt of the racket is pointing up, and that's where I'm going to snap up, get the top of the racket to face where the butt of the racket just went. So I'll serve a few, see if you can see that a little bit. Obviously the videos that are the slow motion videos of Kyrgios and Milos Raonic, those guys you'll be able to see that relaxedness, but you're going to miss a lot. And it's just trying to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and you're going to see that it's a lot less effort than you think. In fact, when I want to serve hard, I relax more, okay? And that's where it's counterintuitive. I mean, you don't see bodybuilders playing tennis. They're very tense, they're very big. Elastic, Djokovic, Federer, their arms are smaller than mine, you know? They're very, very loose and relaxed and flexible. All right, so thinking about that when you serve, it's really hard to be comfortable. Like when you're uncomfortable, you want to tense up. So just try to, when you throw that ball up, relax. Let the wrists relax and let it just swing over, and then you can come up to the ball, and then it's timing, and then using your body at the right time to really put some impact on the ball. So hopefully that helped. Good luck on your serve. And all right, I thought I would just show you guys what I've been working on myself is loosening my grip, and notice my racket head continues to move throughout the swing, which is really hard to do. Roger Federer was my inspiration on that, so I've been working hard on doing that. It's been helping my arm a lot. A close-up look at my wrist though, my racket head lays back and then it just swings over. Notice I don't hold it in a position because I lose momentum of the racket head to go through the ball. So hopefully that kind of helps get an idea of what I've been trying to do, stretching out and letting the racket head just kind of naturally come up to that through the ball and go to it. And the rest, you know, is other things to work on. But I think that's a very important part of getting good racket head speed and also be able to do it with less effort. So give it a shot, and don't forget to subscribe to my blog so I can get you guys more tips on improving your tennis game. Thanks for watching.